admittedly different opponents, but 43-point swing from Sunday to today. Did the performance you saw reflect the difference on the scoreboard?
In some ways, yeah. I mean, we were much more cut in. We played harder. How about that? We played much harder. Not that we didn't play hard the other night, but you got to play harder than we played, and we're still learning what our baseline needs to be. Just the very bottom of what we need to do for 40 minutes to be successful. We're still figuring that out. We were closer tonight. I don't think we were, where we need to be, but we're definitely closer. So from that standpoint, I'm most interested in just a mindset and a maturity and an understanding of what it's going to take day in and day out to be successful. And yes, we made a big step today. But obviously, when you shoot the ball great, it covers up anything. And you guys have heard me say this a million times, I'll say it a million more. The best wins and the best teams win the games when they shoot poorly. That's when you know you really got something. And most teams, if you're going to shoot like this, you're going to win the game, And I hate using them up early in the season because you only get so many of them. But I do feel good. I'm happy for our guys. They needed this. We needed this. We needed some confidence. We needed the ball going to the basket, and we needed guys to feel good. And hopefully, we can carry this forward a little bit.
You jumped out to a 13-0 lead. How different was your pregame speech today?
Yeah. Well, if I say that it was that, then anytime we don't, then you'll wonder how poor it was.
Right.
So, I don't think it had anything to do with that. I think those are way overrated.
Western Carolina turned the ball over 23 times. What was the key to turning them over so much, and how big was that in San Antonio? Well,
for one thing, I thought we played really hard, and they're also a young team. They're a very young team, and it's not easy to go on the road early in a season when you're a young team, and particularly when the other team has just come off a rough game. That's not great timing, and we just it was something we emphasized for a couple days that we got to play with a lot more tenacity, and I thought we did that. And we've got some, we've got good quickness, and we've got some guys with good hands, but I do think it was a lot what I just said.
When you're up by so much at halftime, how do you keep your team focused going in the second half?
That's always scary, because I think I cannot tell you how many games over my basketball lifetime that a big halftime lead seemed, so comfortable, and the next 5 minutes the game completely turned around. And so I think that's a real scary thing. I think the scariest thing is a big early lead in a game. Really, a big early lead in a game changes the whole psychology of the game. And I'm just talking about games moving forward. That's just been my experience. The best kind of games are fairly close, and you just keep building that lead in the second half at the right time. Those are the ones I like. I think it's hard at half. We talked about it a lot.
When you have 21 threes tonight, was that something you put an emphasis on before the game?
No, it's not. Because I know you guys asked before, which was a good question. We've been taking, really, you could argue, too many threes, but we wouldn't have felt that if more of them went in, right? If we were hitting 38% of them, but we weren't in those first two games. And as I said, our first two opponents, one played a zone, the other one basically was playing a zone. They were packed in so far. So it was different. I just think that you have to be a team that takes whatever is given. And if you have a good shooting team and a good driving team and a good post-up team, you're a really good offensive team. So honestly, it's too early for me. We've got all these new guys, young guys, to tell you where it will head in that. What percent of our shots might be threes moving forward. I don't know. It's way too early to tell on that.
When you have a game as lopsided as this, it's maybe easy for all of us to get wrapped up in who scored how many points. So what did you see on the defensive end? What did you like the most about?
That's what I was really caring about the most. I mean, I think you got to have that first, and you got to be great blocking out. You got to be tenacious on the offensive boards. That's the foundation of the house right there. And I thought we were very good. I may see the film tonight and partially change my mind, but I could feel a different, just a different level, different concentration, more talk, more communication. Usually when your team is really talking a lot, they're fully engaged, you know, and their minds are on the right thing. And I could tell that we were communicating very well in our switches and our help. A lot of different plays. I noticed that, so I felt good about it.
The program announces honoring Ira Terrell. He's been around, if you've gotten to know him, do you have anything to say on what kind of guy he is?
Yeah, he's, first of all, he's a great guy, and he loves SMU because he's here a lot, which is a great thing, and he was also a tremendous player. So I'm happy for any and all recognition that he gets.
Jamal McMurray tonight, career high 34 points and 14 of 17. How much of that was he getting different looks than he got in the first two games, or was it just one of those nights where he sort of couldn't miss?
He's a unique, that's the word I want, he's a unique player. He's such a good scorer. He has been his whole college career. He's a great scorer, but he does it a little unorthodox, really. He just has such a knack. He's not a guy that you feel like you have to necessarily run plays. He just can find a way to go score. He's even quicker than he looks, I'll tell you that. Guys that guard him, he's really quick. But what he really has is a tremendous ability to get his own shot. And that's kind of the definition of a great scorer, really.
He finished off his day with 3 straight three-pointers. Was he aware, or were you aware on the bench of the fact that he was closing in on his career high and looking to get him?
I hope he was not aware. I hope he doesn't care about that. And I can promise you, I was completely unaware of that. Yes.
You got some solid minutes out of Ferran Hunt and C.J. White. What did you see out of those guys?
You know, you can see their talent, right? I mean, both of them are very talented players, and the more they're out there, they looked more comfortable. Each game they've looked a little more comfortable, I think, and both of them showed flashes of you know, what maybe they could become, and I'm happy with their progress. And they're very important. They're going to be playing. They're going to be playing real minutes that matter, and we need them to come on. A lot of times in a program, you're not counting as heavily on the freshmen, but given our, you know, numbers and our injuries as well, we are, and they have a great opportunity, and I have confidence in them, and they're definitely improving, and I think they have a very, very high ceiling.
When you have someone like Jamal shooting like he did, how important is it to have the balance of, tonight you had 5 guys in double figures as opposed to just relying on one, even if he is shooting the lights out?
I'm a big believer in a balanced team anyway, and we have had tremendous balance here for many years. It's just the way I see the game. I just think if you do, and we hadn't the first couple games, we hadn't had the good, you know, we struggled to score, but that's what it was. But when you get it going and you have a chance to be a really good offensive team, to me, you have a lot of guys on the floor that can have a double-figure night, and that way they can't skew a defense in a couple directions and really hurt you. For lack of a better word, fire could break out at any spots, and our best teams have been that way, and we're not there yet, but hopefully that's where this team is headed, I hope.